Professor Gibson. This is a video on percents. All right, so working with percents, something most of us have probably done before. The basic equation is this one right here. Well, the statement kind of in English would be X percent of Y equals Z. All right, if you wrote it as an equation, let's say we were talking about 15% of 80 is 12. Okay, so you could write it like this, what we have right here, 15% times 80 equals 12. All right, another way to do it would be with percent means per 100. So in a way, so X over 100 times Y equals Z, or in this case, that would be 15 over 100, all right, times 80. And if you work that out, it does in fact equal 12. So what's going to happen when you do these, one of the three, either the percent, the of, right, or the is, or in other words, the X, the Y, one of those are not going to give you. They'll give you the others. You fill them in and work it out. So let's try a few of them. After a 15% increase, the new cost is $97.50. What was the original cost? Okay, well, so the original really is the Y here. Okay, that's the original. That's one thing. Now, another thing you have to pick on. Now, I've picked some examples here that are ones that I know tend to give people problems. Okay, so a 15% increase. Well, if there was no change whatsoever, right, it just stayed the same, you'd have 100% of what you started with, right? Wouldn't go up or down, you'd be at 100%. So a 15% increase is a 115, right, out of 100. Okay. Y is the original cost, is the one we don't know, right? And then the new cost is the $97.50. Okay, so now we just solve for Y. Remember, when you divide by a fraction like this, you multiply by the reciprocal. So that gives us Y equals $97.50 times the reciprocal, 100 over 115. All right, so then you grab the calculator, and that'll turn to the nearest penny. That'll turn out to be 84.78. Now, you'll notice this doesn't say how many decimals to do. Anytime you get money, do it to the penny unless they say otherwise. All right, so let's try another one. After a 20% price decrease, the new cost is $64. All right, so this one's very similar to the last one. The difference is it's a decrease. Okay, same idea. If you have no change at all, you'd be at 100%, right? So a 20% decrease is going to be 100 minus 20 is 80, right, over 100. The original cost is the Y, that's the one they're not telling us. And the new cost is 64. All right, same as before. We've got to divide both sides by the 80 over 100. Right, so we multiply by the reciprocal. So we take the 64 and multiply it by 100 over 80. Right? And this one actually gets us 80. All right, now let's try another one that's a little bit different. So an item that initially cost $75 is marked down by 25%. The price is later reduced by an additional 10%. What is the latest cost? Okay, so this time the tricky part is that we're going to drop it by 25% and then again by 10. Okay, so following the same idea as before, when you drop by 25%, 100 minus 25 is 75. Now here what's going to happen is we have 2%. We decrease by 25, and then we decrease again by another 10, all right? Decreasing by 10, 100 minus 10 is 90, all right? This time they tell us the original price, 75, right? And ask us for the new cost, all right? We'll just multiply this all out. What you're going to get is that $50.63 is the current cost after both discounts. All right, hopefully that was clear, and you will see me again in another video.